In the chaos of our nation today, it's easy to get caught up in the negativity and lose sight of how great our country truly is. Many brave men and women have given their lives to provide the freedoms we take for granted and sometimes abuse. The Crossville Military Museum is an amazing place that remembers all those who have served and are still serving to preserve those freedoms and privileges.
What we want to show is the younger generation what it took to get to where we are today, and that freedom is not free. You must fight for it and defend it. And so we honor all of our military folks, and all the schools in Crossville come through the museum right before fall break. So we get about 900 kids through here right before fall break, all 12 schools in Crossville. The museum opened in 2002 with 100 items, and we have over 5,000 items now. The building was empty. It was used as a meeting place for the Historical and Genealogical Society. When that society dissolved, the head of the society asked the county mayor what he had planned for the building, and he had nothing. She suggested a military museum to honor our military folks. So he leased the building to us for 50 years to set up the museum. We opened it in 2002 with 100 items, and like I say, we have over 5,000 items now. The museum is laid out from the Civil War up to today's Afghanistan and Iraq. We have a Civil War area. And by the way, the Civil War had an original name. Civil War was a final name for it. The original name of the Civil War was the War of the Rebellion. That's why the Southern troops were called rebels, or Johnny Reb. But we have the Civil War area. We have World War I, World War II, the German prisoner of war camp that was in Crossville, called Camp Crossville. We have Korea, Vietnam, and Afghanistan and Iraq. Everything in here is donated. And about 10% is from Crossville. The rest is from all over the world. We get items from Australia, Germany, Japan, France, England, all 50 states. As visitors, when they come through here, about 6 months or a year later, we'll get a package saying, "I remembered your museum, thought you'd like to have this." And all the weapons that you see here, people, if we didn't want them, they were going to go to the trash dump. We have a lot of one-of-a-kind things in this museum that you won't see anywhere else. We have a tear catcher in the Civil War era, where the lady of the house would collect her tears in a perfume bottle, and if her husband, a male part of the family died, she would pour them on his grave. If he survived, she would show how she wept for him while he was gone. We have an actual Confederate battle flag flown by General Nathan Bedford Forrest at the Battle of Stones River. We have a flag designed by the survivors of the Bataan Death March called American Ex-Prisoners of War. There are less than 3,000 of those flags in existence. We have a layout of the POW camp that was in Crossville, Camp Crossville, where we specialized in German officers. We had 1,550 of Rommel's North Africa Corps officers here. The population of Crossville was 810. Since all the young men were off at war, if a local family needed an electrician, carpenter, plumber, handyman, someone to work on the farm, the prisoners would be sent out to town to do the work, and they got paid for it. A lieutenant got $20 a month, and a major or colonel got $50 a month. They had access to the Sears catalog and the Post Exchange. They could buy anything they wanted. They had tailors come in and make clothes for them. They were treated very well. They had 4 meals a day. Cumberland County was a dry county, and the guards couldn't have any alcohol, but each German prisoner was given a bottle of beer a day. They'd save it to the weekend and have a big beer bash on the weekend. Now, Camp Crossville is reported to be the oldest POW camp in the United States. There were eventually 900, 450,000 prisoners, but Camp Crossville was the first. Come and see how the transition from the early wars to the present, the change in the weapons, the change in the uniforms, the sacrifices that were made. Everything you see in here is personal items, personal weapons, personal medals, letters, commendations. Crossville had a Medal of Honor recipient, Milo Limmert, and we have his memorabilia here in the museum. As a veteran, you know, we're all proud to serve. We all did what we needed to do, and it's just one way of saying thank you to our veterans for the sacrifices that they made.